Courtney having a baby.
Hi guys, my name's Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today is my 33-week bump date. Today I am 33 weeks pregnant. Today baby is the size of a cauliflower. I don't have a whole lot of new symptoms, but I do have a lot of things to talk about, so I will just quickly go through my symptoms for you. My first symptom is fatigue. This week I've definitely been feeling very tired during the day, especially. I've been needing to take afternoon naps pretty much every day, so that's something that kind of subsided during the second trimester and has come back for the third. Another symptom this week is sore hips. I've been mentioning this in all of my bump dates. I guess it's just because baby is getting bigger and there's more pressure down there. The next symptom is nausea. I've been feeling this mostly at night when I wake up in the middle of the night. Specifically if I'm laying on my right side, and if I roll over onto my left side, it generally subsides, which is very strange. And the last symptom that I have to mention for this week is pimples. I've been having some breakouts in the last week. I'm not too sure whether you can see them on the camera. I think I've covered them pretty well with makeup. So that's just something else that I have been experiencing. Something extremely exciting that happened this week is that my husband was informed that his deployment date has been pushed back by a month. So that gives him an extra month with baby girl, and it gives us an extra month to organize moving to Brisbane and kind of just settling in as a family and establishing a relationship between the three of us. So that is extremely good news, because originally he was only going to get 3 weeks with her. So now he's going to get up to 2 months, maybe even 3 months, depending on how early she's born. Something else exciting about the deployment date getting pushed back is that now getting a cesarean wouldn't be such a massive issue. Whereas before we were going to be moving to Brisbane when she was about 3 weeks old. So if I did end up with a cesarean, I would still be recovering from that. I wouldn't be able to drive, and it would just not have been a fun experience. Not to mention the fact that she wouldn't be vaccinated yet, so taking her on an aircraft at 3 weeks old really made me anxious just thinking about it. So having the deployment pushed back has just solved so many of our issues that we've had with moving with a newborn. She'll be vaccinated, and if I did end up with a cesarean, I should be okay to drive by that point, which is very exciting. Like I mentioned in previous vlogs, I do plan on having a natural birth. However, I'm not going to beat myself up if I end up with an epidural or a cesarean because I wanted it at the time. That's just, birth is just one of those things that you can't completely control, and you can plan for it all that you want, but it doesn't always go the way that you think it's going to go. So I'm going in with an open mind, and whatever happens, happens. I had an OBGYN appointment a few days ago, and I did do a separate video, just a short little video on this, but I will also mention it in this bump date. He mentioned that at my ultrasound they measured my cervix, and it should be measuring around a 3 at this point in my pregnancy. However, it's only measuring 2.2. So he said that I am at a higher chance for going into preterm labor early. However, he said that if I can make it to 34 weeks, he's happy to deliver any time after that because it's safe to do so in his opinion. Also, the hospital that we are delivering at doesn't have an extensive NICU, and the main public hospital here in Townsville has one of the best NICUs in Queensland from what I've heard. So if something does happen or she comes early and she needs some NICU stay, they will be separating us after she's born, and that makes me very nervous, and I don't like the thought of that. However, if that's something that we have to do to keep her safe, then of course we will go ahead and do that. We are just trying to figure out when we're going to have family members visiting, because we don't have any family here in Townsville. So anyone who wants to come and visit us has to kind of fly up for the birth, and it's quite expensive to fly into Townsville, and we have family both in New South Wales and in Brisbane. So not everybody can make it up for the birth, which is fair enough, and we completely understand that. Because he's only getting a couple of months with her, we have made it quite clear to our family and friends that we won't be having any visitors after we get home from the hospital, because Andrew only gets a certain amount of time with her, and we really want him to just spend that time with her. It's really important to the both of us that he gets that time with her. And if we have family members coming in and out and staying with us, and basically guests that we are going to have to cater for and take care of, it's going to take time away from us as a family, just the three of us. So we've made it quite clear, and I do feel kind of bad because a lot of the family members that can't fly up to see her when she's born are going to kind of miss out on the first few months of her life, and they won't be meeting her until I move back to Brisbane in late August. So she will potentially be about 3 months old by then, 2 or 3 months old, depending on when she's born. So that's something else that we have been dealing with. Something else that happened this week was I had my lactation class. I opted for the private lactation class instead of the group lactation class, just because I feel like I could learn a little bit more one-on-one instead of in a group where there's, say, 15 to 20 other women. So I had that, and it went for about an hour, and I actually didn't really learn a whole lot. I guess from watching YouTube videos and reading books, you do learn quite a lot of things. And breastfeeding is just one of those things that also, when people's personal opinions are brought into the subject, it can change your view of things as well. So the midwife / lactation consultant that I saw was very old-fashioned and a little bit older, and she didn't believe in pumps. She doesn't believe that they should even be something that you should buy. However, I do have a pump, and I am planning on using it if need be. She said that the hospital does recommend that you bring your pump to the hospital when you have your baby. However, she personally doesn't believe in them. I did learn a few things about how to get a baby to latch, which is extremely important, especially if she does come a little bit early due to my thinning cervix. Babies who are born earlier generally have more latch issues, so that's something that I'm a little bit concerned about. Breastfeeding is something that is really important to me and something that I definitely want to do, not only because it is obviously the cheaper option and the easy option when it comes to going out and leaving the house and not having to take formula with you, but because it's also best for baby from what I've heard. But at the same time, if for whatever reason I can't breastfeed, I don't want to beat myself up about it. If I do need to go to formula, then that's just what happens. Another thing to mention this week is that I only have 2 weeks left of annual leave, so that makes me a little bit sad. I've got 2 weeks left of kind of organizing the nursery and just relaxing really and taking naps. And then I go back to work 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, until I'm 38 weeks pregnant, if I make it that far. So that's going to be interesting to say the least, especially if I'm up on my feet all day long for 5 days. I'm not too sure what they'll have me doing. I guess we'll see. And the last thing that I wanted to mention in this bump date is that YouTube has not always been notifying me when I get comments on my videos. So the only reason I've been able to actually find comments on my videos is if I go back into my video myself and scroll through the comments and try and find ones that I haven't read. So it's a little bit inconvenient, and I'm not too sure why it's doing it. So I'm sorry if I haven't responded to any of your comments. I just don't know that they're there. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and show you my 33-week bump. 33-week bump date. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe below if you'd like to follow our journey, and I will talk to you later. Bye!